Amidst the ongoing pandemic situation in India, Russian President Vladimir Putin and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke on Wednesday and decided to establish a new 2+2 dialogue between the foreign and defence minister. Prime Minister Modi spoke to President Putin in the backdrop of Russian support for India's COVID-19 fight. A Russian military aircraft will deliver more than 22 tons of equipment, including 20 oxygen production units, 75 ventilators, 150 medical monitors and 200,000 packs of medicine. The leaders also decided to establish a new 2+2 dialogue mechanism comprising the foreign and defence ministers of both countries. Russia will only be the fourth country which India has such a mechanism with, the others being US, Japan and Australia. The telephonic conversation comes after India and Russia's bilateral ties went through a rough patch recently following Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov's visit. Lavrov's decision also to visit Pakistan and his comments about Moscow being ready to supply special military equipment to Islamabad was not welcomed by New Delhi. The focus was also on Russia's COVID vaccine, Sputnik V, whose first batch will arrive in India later this month. It is the third vaccine India has given approval to after Covishield and Covaxin. Indian companies will be producing 850 million doses of the vaccine, which not only will be used in India and Russia, but also in other countries. Prime Minister Modi also said that the two leaders reviewed diverse bilateral cooperation, especially in areas of space exploration and renewable energy, including hydrogen economy. And for more on this, we're now being joined by our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal. Siddhant, thank you so much for joining us. The leaders have decided to establish a 2+2 dialogue mechanism comprising of the foreign and defence ministers of both the countries. What can you tell us about this setup?
Well, this is a mechanism India has with its close allies, and as you just pointed out, that only 4 countries in the world that India has this mechanism: US, Japan, Australia and now Russia. Interestingly, Russia is the first country outside of the countries of the Quad that India has this mechanism. And it shows that how close India considers Russia as a partner, and of course how Russia considers India as a close partner. And even as we speak, we know that today morning the first supplies from Russia came to India. As they say, with love from Russia, the Russian Emergency Ministry sent 2 planes full of assistance for India. And of course, we know that the Russian envoy also spoke. He recalled how India had helped Russia last year with remdesivir amid the COVID pandemic in Russia. And now it's Russia's turn to help India, even as the second wave of the COVID pandemic wreaks havoc here in India. But largely, this relationship is a time-tested relationship. It's a traditional relationship, and defense is the key pillar of this relationship. We know the S-400s will be coming to India later this year, but it's just not the defense. The Gaganyaan mission is something in which Russia has played an important role by training 4 Indian astronauts who will be going to the space. This will be India's first manned mission, and Russia has trained all these 4 astronauts. The training period is over, and we know that it's just the space defense. Other than these 2 sectors, it's the nuclear sector in which both countries are playing an important part. But if you look at the geopolitics of this relationship, Russia is a veto holding permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. India is a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council for a 2-year term period. And both countries are collaborating on several issues at the High Forum when it comes to terrorism and other related issues. Both countries are, of course, also part of the BRICS grouping. India, of course, is the chair of the BRICS grouping, and later this year will be hosting the summit. And if COVID situation by that time gets normal or it's okay, then perhaps we can have a physical summit and the Russian president can visit India. We know that Russian president is expected to visit India for a bilateral meeting.
All right, Siddhant, but also, like I mentioned, this conversation comes after India and Russia's bilateral ties went through a rough patch recently. How do you assess this?
Well, we know that there have been things happening in the relationship, but if we look at the larger relationship, this is a relationship which has been time tested, and we know, as it has been said, that there was a rough patch because the Russian foreign minister visited Pakistan. This was, of course, after many years. The last time a Russian foreign minister visited Pakistan was in 2012, and after that, this visit happening. Of course, the Russian side has said that they have a separate relationship with Pakistan. They have a separate relationship with India. And if you look at how Russians have been treating India and Pakistan, it's completely different, because for them, Pakistan means Afghanistan as well. What happens in Afghanistan, the Afghan peace process, and that is why the conversation is happening between the Russians and the Pakistanis. But when it comes to the Indians, this is a relationship which has several aspects, from defense to trade to how it comes to COVID pandemic as well. In fact, Sputnik vaccine is a symbol of this close partnership. We know the Sputnik vaccine is going to come to India for vaccination drive, but also remember that Sputnik vaccine is going to be produced here in India, not only for India, not only for Russia, but other countries as well. And in fact, the Russian foreign minister had said that he is willing to give India-made Sputnik vaccine to Pakistan.
All right, Siddhant, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.